How many and what sort of weapons are we talking about here?
Well, let's cast our mind back, shall we, Claire, to 2015 when the war in Yemen first began, and that was what is being called a proxy war between Saudi Arabia on one side, which was supporting the government in Yemen, and Iran on the other, which was supporting the Houthi rebels. Now, Britain is one of the key exporters of arms to Saudi Arabia, and we're talking about a figure of £5.3 billion worth of weapons which have been exported to Saudi Arabia since 2015. And that is split roughly half and half between Tornado and Typhoon jets on the one hand, and grenades and missiles and rockets on the other. So last year there was a court case in the Supreme Court to stop Britain from selling weapons to Saudi Arabia, accusing the Saudi authorities of using them against civilians in Yemen, and saying that at least 12,600 civilians are known to have died as a result of the use of British-made weapons. Now, these weapons are made by a company which is called BAE, which is a British aerospace. And it is one of the biggest companies as far as weapons are concerned. The manufacture of weapons is concerned in Europe, and it's also quoted on the London Stock Exchange. So obviously this means the fact that these weapons could not be sent to Saudi Arabia, a big loss in earnings for the company. So right back at the start of this last year, the Prime Minister at the time, Theresa May, she expressed her disappointment about this Supreme Court ruling, but the government made it clear that it was going to do everything it could to overturn that ruling and to resume those weapons supplies. Now, it's done that with an independent government report, which Liz Truss, the International Development Secretary, talked about yesterday in this statement, saying that there's not enough evidence to support the fact that British weapons were involved in pinpointing civilians in Yemen, and therefore those weapon sales could resume from now onwards.
I imagine anti-weapons campaigners aren't very happy about this. What have they been saying?
Well, not only anti-weapons campaigners, you have to start with Britain's Labour Party, because this comes just like hours after Britain announced sanctions against 20 Saudis in relation to their involvement in the assassination of Jamal Khashoggi, the journalist. The Labour Party is saying, well, look, you're imposing sanctions on the one side and then you're freeing up the sale of weapons on the other. You're sending out a mixed message. What you should be doing is you should not be sending weapons to Saudi Arabia. You should be helping to end the war in Yemen. That is much more important than not putting human lives at risk. Of course, as you say, this has gone down particularly badly with anti-weapons organisations. One of them, the CAAT, which is the Campaign Against Arms Trade, has accused the British government of basically going back against its word and hypocrisy in sending these weapons back to Saudi Arabia, saying it's going to do all in its power to try to bring a new ruling to stop those weapons from being sent. But the bottom line here, Claire, is that this is a difference between where you put the sale of weapons and the importance of the economy higher than you put the importance of human lives. Which one comes first? Is it human lives to the detriment of the economy due to the billions that these sales bring into the British economy, which is suffering as a result of the COVID-19 outbreak? Or do you put the bonus on selling the weapons, which is going to keep people in jobs and keep the British economy in a better state? That is the whole crux of this matter.